Okay, for 3.8 is about potential divider. Okay, potential divider ni you can see the characteristic. Okay, so you can see the characteristic of potential divider ni where you see resistors that are in series. Okay, resistors tu ada series. Most of the time dia kasih dua lah, two resistor in series, but they can ask you to if there's more than two resistor, katakan 3, 4 or so on. But the key thing is that you have resistors which are in series. Okay, and then they give you the potential terminal voltage over there, and then normally they will ask you the voltage across one of the resistor. So in the real world, potential divider ni function dia biasanya will fix one of the resistor, maybe we fix R1, and then R2 becomes the variable resistor. And then when we try to change the resistance for R2, then we have a different output. So normally over here it is connected to output lah, maybe heating element or something like that. And so basically we can control the voltage over there. But in your syllabus, you just have to calculate voltage across one of the resistor. So in this case, we have two resistors that are in series, yang saya tunjuk ni lah. And you have only one particular, you have two equations. So the first one, you can see that the equations are very similar. The only difference is that one is in terms of resistance R, another one is in terms of length L. Okay, so we focus on the first equation first. Derivation, I think you can refer to the lecture notes yourself, but I just want to focus on how to use this equation. Okay, the VT here is the terminal voltage. Okay, the whole voltage over there. And the V1, let's say if you want to find V1, it is correspond to this voltage across the first resistor. So if I want to find V1, I have to substitute with R1, okay, over R effective. So R effective in this case will be R1 plus R2. If you have more than two resistors, it will be R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on. Okay, but the key thing here is that this one. If you want to find voltage across the first resistor, you have to use R1. Okay, if you want to find, it's a screen lagging, so I can see that it's lagging. So if I want to find V2, I have to substitute with R2. Okay, so far, can you guys follow? Understand or not?
Boleh, sir.
So you guys know that R and L are actually directly proportional. So you have an equation R equals to RL over A. So as long as rho and A is constant, then R and L basically you can relate straight away lah. So that's why there are the derivation again, tapi dia potong-potong and end up with this equation. So very similar equation. Okay. Again, if you want to find V2, and then I have to substitute L2. Yang belah atas tu L2. Tadi R kan, kalau dia beri L, dia L. So when do you need to use R and when do you need to use L, it depends on the question. Maklumat apa yang diberi. So if they give you R1 and R2, so you have to use the first equation. But if they give you the length of the wire, so you can use the second equation. Okay, if there's no question, we try to do one example. Okay, this example actually from the tutorial questions. Okay, it looks complicated, nampak macam complicated with the sentence, long sentence and so on. Tapi jadi cuba kita fokus. Okay, I give you about 1 minute. Cuba baca sampai habis soalan itu dulu. Okay. So, dia kata dekat figure 3.7 ada design for movement sensor using earthquake region. So, the supply has negligible internal resistance. So, selain daripada earthquake punya detection sensor, kalau potential divider ni sebenarnya bagus untuk heat punya sensor juga. Contoh kalau kamu ada temperature kan, so kalau temperature tu berubah, straight away you know that the resistance will change, even a small temperature changes. So because of that, you will have a change in voltage and so on. So that one is another application lah. But in this case, dia kata pasal earthquake. Okay, dia kata this resistor wire is stretched between two rigid steel plates. Okay, that plate is not shown in the diagram. During an earthquake, ground movement changes the separation between the plates. So separation berubah lah. And so the length of the wire changes. The wire has a radius of 0.62 millimeter and length of 32 centimeter. It's made of material of resistivity 6.8. So on. Okay. Try to take out the information first. Dia kata for the wire AB, the radius is equal to 0.62 mm. I change to meter as a unit, and the length is in 32 centimeter. So that one is 0.32 meter. And then resistivity, rho, is equals to 6.8 times 10 negative 6 ohm meter. So you can see that rho tu, the punya units will be in ohm meter. Okay. Kalau just ohm, itu adalah resistance. So that one you guys need to be aware. I'm still waiting for the betul. Saya punya writing tu untuk keluar. Kamu nampak dia keluar ke tidak? For the time being.
Stuck juga, sir.
Stuck juga ya. So same with my view lah. Okay. So itu yang information yang tadi saya tulis lah. So I just label with the appropriate symbols. Okay, and then the first question they ask you to calculate the potential difference between A and B. So this is the diagrams given, the circuit. It might look complicated. I just try to redraw it in terms of something that is much simpler. I copy everything over here, including the formula there. I'll paste it over here. Okay, it says that the terminal voltage which is given is 5 volt. Okay, and then R2, R1 you don't know, RAB, R2 is equals to 1 ohm. And the question wants you to find VAB. So basically, I just replace the symbol from the circuits that previously I drawn. Okay, so if I want to find VAB, basically, I have to substitute with RAB as well. So yang atas tu kena tukar, so dia jadi something like this. So this will be R2. Okay, so far can you guys follow? Boleh nampak tak? Ada soalan tak?
Boleh, sir.
Okay, boleh. Okay, so now, but now you don't have the values for RAB. Right? But they did give you the dimension and the resistivity. So in a way, it's a hint so that you can use rho equals to RA over L. This one comes from the previous topic on how to calculate R given the resistivity is your L. So R is equals to rho L over A. And if I substitute all the values, area, okay, they give you the radius. This is a circular punya wire, so it will be pi r square, 0.62 times 10 negative 3 square. Don't forget to take the square. And if you press your calculator, I got here is 1.80. And this one is resistance, so in ohm. Okay, now you already have the values for RAB. Okay, this is the value for RAB. So the next step, obviously, you have to use the equation for potential divider. So VAB equals to RAB, which is 1.8, divided by 1 plus 1.8. Okay, and then you have to multiply with the terminal voltage, which is 5 volt. Okay, so you will get 3.21. Just check the answer, yes. Okay, can you guys follow? Any questions? And then for question B, they ask you to find the length of the wire. It says that when the length of the wire increases, state and explain the effect on the potential difference between A and B. Okay, dia kata what happen when the lengths are increased. So from this equation, you know that when L is increased, R is increased. Therefore, you can say that the voltage will increase as well. Okay. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
boleh nak tengok calculation yang A punya? Saya tak sempat
Dia punya
salin.
yang ni. This one. Okay. I think 3 hours kot. Hari kan memang macam ni. Anyway, this one is for the calculation yang first part tadi, yang A tu. First step is to calculate the resistance. So to calculate the resistance, because they did give you the dimension and all, so you just have to substitute everything so that you will get 1.8 ohm. Okay. From there, you have to use equation for potential divider, which is VAB equals to RAB. Apa yang kita nak cari tu kita letak atas, divided by RAB tambah satu lagi tu, R2, and then you have to multiply with the V terminal. So as a result, I get 3.21 over there. Okay. Ada yang okey tak? Ada yang okey kot tu. Okay, saya teruskan. So the next subtopic, which is the last subtopic, okay, ada good. It's about potentiometer. Okay, potentiometer ni ada applications. So the main application for potentiometer is to measure the voltage across this one. Okay. Biasanya dekat Vx tu, dia letak an EMF, unknown EMF. Contohnya if you have a dry cell kan, you don't know the values for the dry cell sebab kamu dah pakai. So initially maybe you get something similar to 1.5 volts, but after a certain usage, maybe dia dah tinggal 0.8 volt. So you want to find the actual values for the EMF. You can put the EMF is over here. Okay. So the setup for potentiometer is that it's contained of a circuit, a loop that we call a driver. So the yellow part here, saya highlight ni, is the driver part. Okay. And then the other parts too, they consist of A, B. So daripada A ke B ni, normally they give you the values for resistance. Kita tahulah resistor untuk A, B tu ataupun length untuk A, B tu. Okay. And then yang kamu ubah-ubah biasanya adalah the values for AC. Okay. AC ni dia from the positive terminal towards this junction and then towards that junction. Okay. Yang position C ni, kalau kamu rasa saya letak arrow. Okay. Arrow there represent the jockey. Jockey ni apa? Sebenarnya jockey ni adalah ibarat pen. Okay. Cuma dia adalah conductor punya pen. So basically kamu boleh bayang macam pen kamu tu kan, tapi besi lah. So it is actually to complete the circuit. So bila kamu connectkan dia, Yang A dan B ni basically adalah kamu punya conductor juga, tapi ada resistor punya conductor. So if you put the jockey over here, so basically it creates a complete circuit untuk loop yang lagi satu tu. Okay. Kalau kamu tak letak jockey, dia tak complete lah. So when you try to put somewhere over here, what will happen adalah current akan pass through. Okay. So supposedly bila circuit tercomplete akan ada current lah. Tapi kalau kamu perasan nanti dalam soalan, dia akan selalu cakap, dia akan selalu sebut pasal balance galvanometer. So galvanometer balance ni maksud dia adalah, kita ada galvanometer. Kamu tahu tak apa beza galvanometer dengan ammeter? Apa beza dia? You can tell me the difference between galvanometer and ammeter.
Ammeter untuk ukur arus elektrik.
Okay, galvanometer?
Untuk ukur kewujudan arus.
Okay, okay, betul-betul. Betul. So actually, dua-dua untuk ukur current. Cuma galvanometer ni kelebihan dia, dia boleh ukur direction of current. So in a way betul lah yang kamu cakap tu. So galvanometer punya zero tu dekat tengah-tengah. Like that. Okay, compare to ammeter, galvanometer dia zero tu kat tepi. Dekat sini. Okay. Biasa kamu pakai yang before this maybe adalah ammeter lah, tapi yang ni adalah galvanometer. Okay. And then kelebihan galvanometer ni dia boleh tahu direction of current. So kalau dia direction tu ke sana, dia ke sana lah. Kalau direction ke sana, dia ke sana. Dia boleh gerak kiri dengan kanan. So the term yang dipakai bila dia kata balance okay, balance yang digunakan tu referring to balance galvanometer. It means that the galvanometer is pointing at the zero. So pointing at the zero means the current there is equal to zero. So there's no current passing through the galvanometer even though the circuit is complete. Okay, the only reason is because the potential difference Vx ni is equal to potential difference across AC. Kalau ini potential difference dia sama, there will be no force to push the electron. That's why the galvanometer reading is equals to zero. Okay, so that part is the theoretical part. It nampak macam complicated. I just try to inform you guys about the term that they might use. So balance, okay, balance ni ramai student dia salah faham. Dia ingatkan balance between A, B ni. So katakan ini 100 meter, student assume that this one is 50, this one is 50 meter. So that one is wrong assumption. So balance here represents the galvanometer punya reading tu dekat zero. Okay. So memang dalam soalan, memang dalam situation kamu, dia sentiasa dekat zero lah. Baru kamu boleh kira. Okay, to solve a problem relating to the potentiometer, I will try to use a table method. Okay, so obviously you have some methods, there are quite a few methods. The conventional one, you have to calculate the current, and then you have to use the relation between Vx and VAC and so on. So I try to show you the method that for me is much easier. Kita cuba terus buat soalan. Okay, so this one is the last question in the tutorial. Dia kata potentiometer is used to measure the EMF of a thermocouple shown in 3.8. Driver cell has EMF of 2 volt and its internal resistance is negligible. Slide wire is 1 meter long. Resistance is 5 ohm. When the galvanometer is balanced, so macam saya cakap, dia memang kat balance ya. The length of AJ is 65.5. Okay. So I assume that 65.5 ni adalah dia punya apa tu? AJ tu adalah jockey yang J tu. So here got J tu. Calculate the EMF of the thermocouple. Okay, so you can take out the information first, like the driver cell. Okay, and then dia kata the slide wire AB, the length of AB is equals to 100 centimeter. I changed to centimeter because I want to use the same unit. So to solve using the tables, basically you are using the ratio. So as long as the units are the same, should be okay. Then dia kata resistance untuk AB tu 5 ohm. And then dia kata length untuk AJ 65.5 centimeter. Okay, that's all the information that's given lah. And then including the circuit over there. So I try to redraw the circuit. Saya pakai circuit yang sama dengan kat atas tadi. Saya just switch dia balik ke sini. So this one instead of C, dipakai J. The plus symbol dia so that you don't get confused. Okay. Then they give you 2 volts dengan 500 ohms. And they also give you about this one. I just copy everything over here. I just put it over there. Over here. Okay. Now you can see that I divide the table into 3 parts. Voltage, resistor, resistance dengan length. Okay. And then on the left hand side ni ada driver, AB, AJ. Pasal kalau ada lain lah. Okay. So now for the first part, driver yang warna yellow ni. So I just highlighted again, highlightkan balik yang tadi macam saya highlight. That was for the driver. Yang green tu untuk the whole length. And then blue tu untuk AJ. Okay. And then referring to the given information, LAB tu sama dengan 100 cm. I just put it inside here. LAJ to 65.5. RAB is 5 ohm. Saya just masukkan ya. So R untuk AB is 5 ohm. Length untuk AB is 100 cm. Ikut je yang apa yang dah diberi. Apa yang kita keluarkan tadi. Okay. And then yang dekat hujung sekali, belah kanan atas tu, yang L untuk driver, dia sentiasa tak ada nilai. I just put a cross over there. So always like that lah. Okay. Dia tunggu dia punya apa ni, loading nak keluarkan. Okay, dah nak keluar. Okay. So the next part is to identify V untuk driver. Berapa V untuk driver? Nilai dia. Berapa ni? Siapa boleh teka?
0.
Okay, you can see that dekat driver tu yang yellow ni tau. Okay, it's a good try.
2
Okay,
volt ke sir?
yes, so it will be 2 volt. Okay, ada berapa banyak EMF? Kasi ada satu je in this case. So that one will be a 2 volt. So we just put 2 volt over there. Okay, resistor. Resistance dekat yellow ni ada berapa?
500.
Okay, 500. Correct. Tapi jangan lupa dekat sini pun ada juga. Okay. Kalau kita tengok RAB ni, sebenarnya dia consist of a resistor. Macam pun boleh bayangkan dia resistor panjang. Yang dikata sepanjang-panjang resistor tu, dia punya R dia adalah 5. So maksudnya kalau kamu nak shoot untuk driver, it will be 500 plus 5. Become 505 ohm. Okay. And then voltage untuk AB, kita tak tahulah. Voltage untuk AJ, kita nak cari. So basically, you want to find V untuk AJ. Okay, to solve this one, basically, you can find a certain value. Contohnya saya nak cari VAB ni kan. Saya boleh pairkan dia. Untuk this one. Saya kena ada 3 information lah. Baru saya boleh dapat yang ni. Okay, maksud saya, if I want to find VAB, saya boleh pairkan yang ini semua ni sekali. So kalau saya nak tulis dalam metode matematik, saya cakap tadi dia ratio kan. I can write VAB over 2 sama dengan 5 over 505. Okay. Obviously, I can write 2 over VAB equals dengan 505 over 5. Boleh, tak kisah. Kalau saya nak buat yang macam ni pun boleh juga. Maksud saya, VAB over 5 equals to 2 volts over 505. Boleh juga, doesn't matter. So, ratio dia tak kisah. As long as you pick 2 pairs, that should be okay. So, in this case, kita punya VAB ni 0.0198. Okay. Once I got this one, 0.0198, then I can solve the next part, which is VAJ. If I want to solve VAJ, I can take the pair of this one. Obviously, saya boleh pairkan dengan sebelah dia ni. But I have to find this value first lah. Alternatively, I can jump, then I can pair with this one. Pun boleh juga. So basically, I can ignore yang R tu lah bila saya combinekan dia punya pair. Okay, again, saya still waiting the internet. Okay, there you go. So if I compare that part, so I will get VAJ over 0.0198 will be equals to 65.5 divided by 100. Okay, so if you calculate this one, it's 0.013. Okay, so this is one of the method lah untuk selesaikan this kind of problem. So obviously you have a different method. You can calculate the current first, and then you can relate and everything. But it requires lots of thinking and comparison. Bagi saya panjang lah. So the easiest way is this one. Okay.